how I'm going to do romantic comedy. Dark comedy, there's not that the picture is dark and it was like, it's just that there will be a lot of yabbing and insulting inside it, and a lot of dark irony in it. Hi, my name is Clarence Peters and I'm here with ViSTAR. Offset, I'm very boring. That's just my opinion. Maybe other people might have a different opinion. I like to stay indoors and eat and watch a truckload of shows and films. I hang out with pretty much the same set of people all the time, hence why I think that I'm boring. It takes a lot for me to go out. Yeah, that's really boring. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Music videos or series? Of course series. Every day, twice on Sunday. Of course. Cinema or streaming platform? That's not a straight answer. I think Nigeria has taken out the cinema experience from my baldy. But if I was in a theater that the acoustics and like the screen was really organic, in my opinion, then and if the cinema was in my house, I would pick cinema. But as for now, based on the present constraints of the situation, I would pick streaming. It's easier and I can control the quality of what I'm watching. Why did I make Scratch? Scratch's evolution is weird because there's been at least 2 iterations of the story before now. I think it was about 2013, I shot a video for Young L called SOS. And that's kind of where the idea kind of grew from. The story was a lot wider. It was still a bunch of people living in a house, but it was a bunch of vixens / night workers who lived together in an apartment. And they had a landlady, and then different things happened to them. Over the years, that idea had morphed into what we have now. The reason for that was I was working a lot with a lot of young people who had heard their stories, and we'd had a lot of conversations about what motivated them and what kept them going, what their hustle was, what their challenges in life, both with work and with family, but especially with family. But by the time we were going to start shooting Scratch almost 2 years ago, or about 2 years ago, I had developed the idea of the show itself into it being like the anchor of it being what people go through when they're in their rooms. And we kind of started from there. And originally, it was just, we were playing around. We wanted to shoot something very light and funny for YouTube. So at the time, the writers had come together and built some of these characters. But then when I picked up the characters and we started developing stories and I started getting really involved, it started getting raw and darker. And I didn't stop it. I just kept on pushing. We just kept on pushing the boundaries within the resources of what we had. Why is it called Scratch? The whole point of the show was what happens beneath the surface, right? And you have to scratch. In my head, yeah, like you had to scratch to see what's deeper. You experience these characters at first, and you think that you know them. But as the story evolves, you start to get, they become unraveled. But the process of unraveling them, there's a lot of friction, a lot of conflict that reveals what they're going through, hence Scratch. What conversations were you hoping the audience will have after watching it? Honestly, at the end of most of the episodes, except episode 5, you get to see that each episode was tied to a particular trauma and a particular experience. So I hope the audience would talk about serious issues, from incest to black tax to rape, to abuse, especially male abuse, right? But then I was really hoping that the audience would zero in on the characters themselves and be able to see a bit of themselves in either all of the characters or one or two of the characters. And the feedback has, I think the feedback has actually even shocked me personally, because I didn't think that people would dive that deep into. I'm a pessimist, not an optimist, all right? But in this case, I've been pleasantly surprised, especially with the feedback, because that's actually what I'm more interested in than the numbers of the people that watch. Is actually the people that watch becoming real fans, and fans who would, real fans, real followers. What is one visual decision audiences might never notice? I think that it's also designed, some of them are designed for the audience not to notice, but for them to feel. That's the whole point of the visual experience in itself. In a matter of speaking, Scratch had a very documentary style to how it was shot and how it was lit, which isn't something that you would find not just on YouTube, but even in Nigerian cinema, right? And that was intentional, right? Because it's a visual style that I like a lot, right? And it's a visual style that I don't see often. It's a visual style that allows the audience be very present, because the camera is really acting like the eye of the audience. The how Scratch feels like a character and story, was that intentional? Yes, like I said earlier, definitely was. In fact, it was the first character that was auditioned. I think we tore that set down at least twice. And I was working with an art department that had never done this before. This was the first time the art department had really built a set. I mean, they had worked on 1 or 2 or 3 music video sets before, but that had been a lot of prop work. It hadn't really been full-on construction like that. But from the get-go, we knew that Runo's room was going to be green as the mother of the house. We knew Onaka's room was going to be blue because he, by fire by force, wants to be perceived as being manly. The original color for Fefe's room was pink, but when we had started, it felt too on the nose and just wasn't working. So I decided to lean a lot more towards the character and the chaos of the character that the character was in. As she's inspired by so many things. She's inspired by local stuff, but she's also still inspired by a lot of things that she's seen internationally. Describe your directing style in 3 words. I'm still discovering my style. With Scratch, for instance, the style was very balanced. The camera stayed on sticks, or it was on tracks. The only thing that was consistent with that was I was crunching a lot of blacks, and my lighting was very hard, and I didn't work with soft lights at all. That's from a cinematography standpoint. From a directing standpoint, I like to work with actors, but I like to work with actors who've done their work, because I don't like to direct actors on set. I don't like to do the full work of the directing of the actors on set. I like to direct the actors before we get on set, right? So it's very painful and hard for me to work with actors that we haven't done a read and we haven't had conversations about the characters before shooting. I mean, I can do it, but it's a painful experience, right? Especially when you're not doing that, when you're doing that with actors that are not experienced actors, are not really, I won't say the word won't be good, who don't take their craft seriously. it's a nightmare. The technical part is what everybody hears when I talk, because that's the part that is easiest for me to communicate. That's also the part that is maybe the most boring part for me in directing, because I don't do storyboards, I don't write short lists. My directing starts from the actors, right? I have an idea of how I want the scene to look like, but when the actors read, I start leaning towards the things that they do, and then the short list 9 out of 10 times is out the window if I've written them out, and then I start to shoot based on the character that they give me. So my style starts from the actors. What made the actors in Scratch the right choice, and what do you look for while casting? So I like to work with people that I know, right? But on Scratch, apart from Celia Okechukwu and Tony, who I call Zeus, I hadn't worked with the other 3 actors before. So that was also a risk. For the 3 actors I hadn't worked with, I had conversations and I could kind of tell their personality. The first day of shoot, when we was face, is actually literally how the show starts, right? Was supposed to be a camera test, like a full-on costume, makeup camera test. But I kind of knew that we were going to shoot like the beginning parts of the episode. So everyone believed it was a camera test, but I knew that we were shooting for real. That's literally how I pick actors. And it's very, it could be for very random reasons. You make a lot of gritty, raw shows. Are there any other genres we should expect? Yes, I am going to do romantic comedy. Okay, maybe not romantic comedy, but dark comedy, love film. Dark comedy, there's not that the picture is dark and it's just that there will be a lot of yabbing and insulting inside it, and a lot of dark irony in it. So I've never shot a feature, and that's on purpose, right? I know that Mr. Moses Babatokwe has been trying to get me to shoot a feature for a long time. I'm very different when it's features from when I'm doing the series. So that's why I haven't done a feature. I don't know how to manage when I'm doing a feature. But I think I'm probably going to do something that is long form for YouTube. That isn't a series. That's at least a barest minimum of about 60 to 70 minutes long, if not 90. Hi, again, my name is Clarence Peters. I have a new series on YouTube called Scratch. It's a 5-episode series. It's on the Capital Dreams Pictures YouTube channel. Capital Dreams Pictures YouTube channel. YouTube Capital Dreams Pictures. June 12th was when the first 2 episodes came out. I would implore you guys to watch it, and I would really like, the comments are very important to me, right? So thank you very much.